1 100, 2 100, 3 100. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Freak out. We've got our jazz hands going.
Yeah. That's what jazz hands. Aw.
Hi. All right. Yeah, can't hear. Okay, Samantha. Samantha said can't hear. We can't hear. Okay, can't hear. We're just trying to work out the can't hear business. Okay. All right. Hi. We are
What
working
about
out.
that?
Working on sound.
Can you hear us now?
Okay. Remember, there's a bit of a delay.
Yeah,
so
there
it
is
might
a
take
delay.
some time.
Yes.
Okay, working out. We're just trying to work out the can't hear.
The sound is a little bit off.
Okay. All right. Sound is a little bit off, but
What
you can
about
hear
that?
us.
Yeah, you can hear me now. You've got me now. I'm sure you can hear me because I can hear it online. Yeah, there is a delay.
Okay,
Yes.
as long as you can hear online.
Yes. Yes, everybody's got it. Okay, we're here. We're alive. Oh, this is what streaming's all about, isn't it? The wonderful times, the great times, the tension. Yes. Okay, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you very much for being here. Excuse the mess. Excuse the mess on the screen here. Look, we're here because it's time to celebrate all things Virginia Lillye. They don't need to hear our problems anymore. Let's celebrate all things Virginia Lillye in the world, in the wonderful world of Virginia Lillye. It's so great. I'm sorry that we're not here so that you could play some songs, but yes, Ken, we are on YouTube. We're on YouTube and on Twitch. But Vinny, it's great to actually have a chat with you and see what the life of Virginia Lillye is all about. First of all, welcome, Tanti. Nice to see you.
Yay.
So glad to have Vinny on, focusing on Vinny today. And it is, unfortunate that we couldn't be all together in the same room, but it was better to play it safe as Pete's all snotty and clogged up. and so we didn't want to risk not being able to play live on Thursday. So
that's right.
Yeah, which is why we're here.
As I said to you, I actually feel fine, and that's why now I'm starting to think it's hay fever, and they're talking about hay fever on the news tonight. So I've got hay fever, whatever it is. You know, I thought it was from cuddling too many Greeks on Sunday at Dino's birthday, but you know. Hey, Vinny, great to see you here. Look, let's start with your early years. Now, I've got some photos here that I think that are going to be really great. So if we can put them up, you guys can still hear you. Let me just check that they can still, they can still hear you. Look at these photos. Now, you won't see them unless you're on the screen, on the feed. But there's 3 absolutely brilliant photos here that the folks can see. There's one with you in a leotard. And can you see them on screen now?
Oh yes, I can. Yeah.
No, I can't.
Oh, you got to look at it on your phone.
Will you tell me about those photos, please, Vinny?
Oh. Okay, so I see it now. Wait, I'm going to turn the volume down because it's too confusing. So the first photo on the left is I was just telling Tanti before, I wanted to find the very first Estedford that I did as a dancer, because that's what I was originally, was a dancer. And so the first photo on the left was my jazz routine for Hawaii 5-0, hence the Hawaiian print on the leotard. And actually, as I move across, they're all Hawaiian print. I don't know if I maybe had some background of, a past life as a Hawaiian or something. But so that was my jazz routine that I performed in a lot of Stedfords, and I won, actually. I think it was the tassels on the legs actually that made me win. But
how old were you there?
I was probably about I want to say maybe, I don't know, 9 or 10 maybe. I'm not sure. And the second photo was a fashion parade that I did, and in those days, so that was at the Roselands Raindrop Fountain, which was in the 70s and the 80s, it was the heyday of, like, if you're not at the Raindrop Fountain, who are you?
You're going to laugh at this. You're going to laugh at this. But I used to be in a group called the Junior Daffodils, and we used to do the Raindrop Fountain.
Oh, yes. Yes.
9, 10 years old.
Juniors.
Yes. Brilliant. So, what about the third photo? What did you win there?
For a second, let's go back to the fashion parade, because the fashion parade had a live band behind us, and the live band was actually the Warren Carr Trio, which was my dad on bass, Warren Carr on piano, and Don Schleichman on drums. So if you can see just behind me, there's the drum kit of Don Schleichman.
Yes.
As most drummers would know, Don Schleichman is the man who invented the double bass pedal. And the last photo is, I was, as you can see by my smile, I was so freaking excited because I won the overall jazz trophy and the overall dance, the dance of the year trophy. So I was super excited. And in that photo is actually my tap routine outfit.
Brilliant.
And that was taking up my grandparents. They were very proud, and yeah, that's where that came from. They're
such brilliant photos, and I love seeing
photos.
people, you know, that I know now and from when they've been so young. Yeah, that's interesting. You know, that raindrop fountain thing and the Junior Daffodils. Like, I was singing, I wasn't dancing because I was a shit dancer, but I used to play guitar in the band. Listen, your parents are musical, right?
Yeah, so my father was a bass player, as I just said. I explained, he was in the band with the Fashion Parade. He was in the Warren Car Trio, and he was heavily involved with St. George Leagues Club. So whatever touring band came through, he was the bass player for all that.
Yeah.
And he was also, he headed off to Asia and did a lot of, like musical conducting for like a big horn sections and major corporate stuff. So it was all there. And big bands. And my mom was a singer, dancer, choreographer, director, and that's how they met. They met through a show, and I used to be just in the bassinet. They used to just cut me off everywhere, and I used to sit side stage apparently with like a dummy in my mouth, and I was awake the whole time. And like they used to, as we do, go out for a meal after the gigs. And that's what they used to do. And I used to be wide awake in the back seat, just like, okay, what's going on? And Mum has this wonderful story about the police pulling her over one night and, saying, now my battery's going low. What?
Go on. You want to fix that?
Julian!
It's one of those days, isn't it?
Everything's in. I don't understand what's going on. My dad. I don't know. It says it's lit up. I don't know. It's charging again.
Yeah. Great.
So your mum would tell us this great story.
The police pulled her over one night and said, you were going too fast or whatever. And then they looked in the back and saw it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, and they just finished having something to eat, and there I was in the back seat, eyes wide open, sucking on a pacifier, and they're like, you've got a baby in the back, and they're like, well, yeah. This is who we are and this is what we do, so yeah, that's why she's here. It's so I blame them.
I can see, the absorption you would have had from being around such great music all your life, like having that sort of thing. It's something I never had. My parents weren't musical, and we only had 5 records that were played on weekends. So, and it's interesting, I can see that in you, that you've got music in so many areas of your life. It's such a integral thing. Like, as I say, you've been absorbing it since you were a toddler. So it's really interesting. Now, tell me, Mum still has the dance school, right? A performing arts school.
She teaches piano, and I take all the singing lessons at her class at her school. And my uncle also helps out with piano, but throughout the years, she did a lot of choreography and directing and producing, and it was all around me all the time. And it was such a diverse range of things too, from musical theatre to bossa nova to jazz, but the rock was never there. That was the weirdest thing. And I think why I rebelled. I went, I'm not going to do this, flowery poppy stuff. So definitely it was.
When did you start listening to rock music then?
I blame my next door neighbor, because I heard out of the window, my window was here, and Alison, who I think was probably about, 4 or 5 years older, and she had older brothers. So she used to play this music blaring out in our windows. As I said, we're here. So I used to hear like AC/DC and Angels and all this. And I never forget the first time I heard like Give Me Head. I was like, oh, what? What is that? That's not, is that allowed? And what is that? Like, I didn't even know what that was. So that's when it slowly crept in.
So you would have been about how old?
Oh, now I'm showing my age. Probably around 10 or 11.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting because I was the same. I mean, by 9, I'd started playing guitar, and really in those days it was what Mum and Dad were listening to on the radio, which is 2CH, which would have been the Carpenters, that sort of thing. And then my brother started bringing home records of like Cosmo's Factory and Deep Purple and all that sort of stuff. So it kind of grew from there. But like really, music to me was songs, just playing songs,
Yeah.
Alone again, naturally. But very interesting. Now, how old were you when you started performing? I could see you were dancing and stuff. Were you singing as well in those shows?
Yeah, I was always singing and dancing. I did my first professional engagement when I was 5. Yeah, and I didn't even, realize what it actually was at that age, clearly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like all those fashion parades and like I was nonstop. Like when we had school holidays, I didn't have a school holidays. So it was always performing in shopping centre shows or, fashion parades or some commercial or something. So it was embedded from a very young age.
It's incredible the training that gives you, isn't it? Like you can feel comfortable. Sure, you feel nervous. Like you said to me before, when you just were about to go live, you went, I feel nervous. But like those nerve things, that only last for a second, then you bang into it, isn't it? Right? And after doing it for years and years and years.
Oh, no, not with this. I'm still nervous as hell about
this. Well, there's no need to be, but I know what you mean. You still get those nerves, but you carry on. You go on. It's like you're on stage. You're going to do stuff.
Something that I did.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, look. I wanted to show the people this wonderful thing because I've got a connection to this as well, and this is where you were at Wonderland. Now. It looks like you're doing Hydromatic. What is it? You probably won't see it for a couple of seconds, but once it comes up, you'll see it. This is Wonderland. I can see you there.
Yes.
Yep. Got it, Vinny?
Okay. You keep coming in and out on me, so I'm just trying to catch up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a picture of you in a very sequined dress. You still can't see it yet. Unfortunately, for the people at home, we can't do this via Zoom and show pictures that they will see at the same time. So do you see them now, Vinny?
I see them on my phone.
Okay, tell me about the one on the left.
Yeah.
Yes.
The one on the left. Okay, so the one on the left was my second. The one on the left in the sequence thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? Yeah, okay. So that was Australia's Wonderland. So that was the second season. So I did 2 seasons there. And that was called The Heart of Rock and Roll. And as you can tell by my very wide leg stance, I don't know. I thought it was at the time, I thought it was the most amazing thing in the whole entire world because it was like a half-hour show. There was 5 costume changes.
Amazing.
And that included hairstyles as well. And, some days down at, where was it? Where was it? Wallaby Creek or, I don't know, our Blacktown somewhere.
Eastern Creek, yeah.
Eastern Creek, that's the one, yeah. Wallaby. So, yeah, it was like 35 degrees heat some days. And I just, I loved it. I loved the sweat and I loved being able to sing and dance. And because just before that, I actually gave up singing and dancing. I just thought I went to a school of arts and it was the first year that they tried to do things. And they were still trying, it was teething issues. They were work out how to accommodate people within the arts and schooling at the same time. So the hours were 8:30 till 5. And I just thought, this is ridiculous. So I gave up. I actually went into the school principal and said, look, I can't be here anymore. And they went, well, we need to call your parents. And I went, well, they'll be fine with that. And then I just thought, you know what? I want to try something out of the ordinary of what I knew. So I worked in a bank, and I worked in a jewelry store, and I tried different jobs. And so it was my mum actually who pushed me into, she actually formed a band for me, and like a very, very ridiculous cabaret kind of band. And we wore hot pink, and I wore hot pink lipstick. And so, yeah, Australia's Wonderland was the first audition that I did that kind of took me out of that. And I just thought, wow, this is awesome. You know, like I'm having fun, and I'm enjoying myself. And so, yeah, so those legs wide apart, I was like, yeah.
Well, thank God your bank.
Everything 1,000%, and not just, just do it. I just thought I had to prove something the whole time.
Thank God your bank and jewelry store career didn't take off, because you got in the middle photo there, you got some pretty good pegs on you there, love. Hey? They're not bad.
Thank you very much, Lee. Yeah.
How old were you when you were doing this?
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, maybe 1920. 1920.
Yeah. So my story with Wonderland is that I remember going out there and doing it a couple of times with people. And now I can't remember the names of the guys or who the girls were, but we used to, you'd have special guests on. And I remember you guys, or some show or on, and we would go in the middle or afterwards, because it was a whole afternoon, right, on a Saturday or a Sunday. They'd have special guests, and we would be there, and we'd do a spot. Right. I even did a spot with Harris in our band called it's lost. No. Yeah, Harris and I and Robbie, a whole bunch of us. We had a spot out there, but it was after one of the shows or in between one of the shows. Let me talk about the other two photos, because there's some pouting going on there and some fabulous hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you cut out there, but I got the pout. Yeah, so that was my first professional photo shoot. So they said blow through your lips. So I was like, oh, like this. What good is that going to do? But, yeah, that's what came out. And the one in the middle there, that was my very, very, very first professional photo shoot. And I you can tell in my eyes, I'm like, I don't know what to do. What should I do here? Yeah. So that me a bit of work. But I was also very new again, like it was like a reborn thing, and I was kind of new to it all and didn't know what to do. It was directed a lot in those photos.
And in those days, the thing to do was to be a cabaret artist, really, wasn't it? It was like you'd get the cabaret shots. I mean, we're speaking to Susanna, and she had the same sort of shots, with the name down the bottom and all that with the frame around it. And that's what you gave out to get work. And you would do a spot, and you'd have your charts, and did you have all that sort of stuff? You have the charts from the Dick Buchanan charts and everything? Yeah, that's what we did.
Yes, Buchanan charts. I still have them. Yeah, and I still use them.
There you go. See, they're handy, those things. And they kept you working throughout all that time, because the only other option for work in those days was putting a band together and trying to get a gig in a scout hall or something, which was virtually impossible.
Which is what my mum did. It was about the same period of time. Mum put together it was horns. There was like 2 trumpets and a saxophone and keyboards and bass and guitar and 3 singers, and we did a lot of the RSL clubs, and we did like New Faces. We did Have a Go, and we did all these.
Yeah.
Have a go, you mug.
Yeah.
So we did all that, and I don't know. As I said, it was just my mum who pushed me back into getting on my train.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for that, because I don't know, like you say, I could have been like manager of Prouds maybe by now.
No, I think you get to a point. I think you get to a point in your life where you go, listen, I don't have a choice, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but you go, look, this is what I do, and it's there's no point trying anything. We've all done it. I tried to do, go back to school and learn, how to get my school certificate, because I never got it. So I went back to TAFE, when I was, I don't know.
Oh, wait, school certificate or higher school certificate?
Higher school certificate. I got the school certificate.
No, I didn't get that.
So I went back and tried that, but then in 2 months in, I went, what the fuck am I doing here?
What for?
What for?
Yeah.
So then you kind of
Yeah.
go, well, look, there's no backup. I don't have a backup. I'm never going to have a backup. I'm going to go 100% into this. And I can see that with you. Now, what I wanted to show you also, so at what age did you travel overseas and go and do this? Cats.
So, oh God, well, there was a lot of things that happened in between that and going overseas. But the funny story, so okay, so I got asked to do this a casino job in Cairns through the people that did Australia's Wonderland, and so I did a 1.5-year contract with them, and then I saw this advertisement in the newspaper saying
Tell me
there's
what age.
auditions. Oh God, I think I was like 25 or something. So they said, there's auditions for cats in the newspaper, and I went, well, I haven't danced for a while, and if I'm gonna, I always wanted to do a musical, and I thought, well, let's do it. So I bought a brand new car, and I put all my belongings in my car and drove from Cairns to Sydney directly into the audition. And I got into the audition, and it was packed with people that I taught dancing as well. And it was like, oh God. Anyway, call back after call back after call back. Then I found out that the show was in German. And I thought I'd be, adorned in Leica, maybe doing an Australian tour, was successful, in landing the job. But it was in Hamburg, and the last round of auditions was like a parrot fashion thing. They had there was myself and 2 other girls, and these German people were sitting behind the panel, and they were like telling us to say these words, and I was like really bad at it. I was really, really bad, and I thought, oh, well, forget that, it's not going to happen. And at the time the company used to audition worldwide, and so they said at the end of the day, now we've got to go to Japan and Canada and audition other people. And I was like, oh, okay, well, thanks very much. I was like, okay, bye. Never expecting to hear anything from them. Although I don't know, I kind of felt like I connected with the director and the choreographer. She was from England. She'd done the original production, and the choreographer. And I was like, so I started my life again. I got a house in Clovelly, and I was living in Clovelly. And then I got this phone call. It was like at midnight. And they said, this is Cats calling. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was my friend Amanda playing a joke on me. And I said, oh, that's very funny. And they said, no, we're serious. This is Cats Germany calling. And so 6 weeks later, I negotiated my contract, and I was on a plane and off to Hamburg. And the weirdest thing was that there was only 2 Germans in the show. So everybody else was from all around the world. So you had like English, American, Canadian, Japanese, New Zealanders, Australians. Like, it was just this whole bizarre bunch of people. And we got taught the show parrot fashion. So I had no idea what I was singing about for about a year. And the lady that taught us was a huge German woman. Like, she could have been 1970s shot put champion. But she was very,
Fraulein
I've told
George.
you before, she's very, yes, but she had her nails and she had a scarf, and it was all very bizarre. And, you'd be in the theatre all day learning, and then you'd be into her to do your phonetics. And I was so Australian. I was so bad.
Do you know why?
What?
Do you know why they chose people from all around the world and not Germans for a German show?
Yeah, so basically what happened, the reason why they did that was because in Germany at the time, there was no schools that catered for a triple threat. So there was no schools for singing, dancing, and acting or theatre or whatever. If you went to a dancing school, then if you wanted to go into a dancing career, then you would go to like an academy or the Australian Ballet Company. But if you wanted to be a singer, you would go to an opera company or whatever. So there was no triple threats, and that's why they auditioned worldwide, because they had nothing in their own country to
Gotcha.
produce the show.
I mean, how long did you do that show for over there?
I did it for 1.5 years.
Right. That's a long time out of town. It's a long time.
It's a hell of a long time, and a huge cultural shock and a huge weather shock as well. Like I remember we had, it was show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and double show Saturday and double show Sunday. Monday was your day off. And I'll never forget, there's one major point that it just spins me out. It was snowing big time. And that was the thing too. You had to know what layers to wear. It wasn't a fact of, okay, I've got 10 layers on, I'm going to be warm. It's all down to the layers. Anyway, I was going to the DVD store with my friend Emma, and I was like, this is crazy. We were like walking through snow up to like our knees. And I remember calling my brother, just going, guess where I'm going? He's like, I don't know. I have no idea where you're going. I'm like, I'm going to the DVD store and I'm walking in snow up to my knees. Like, this is mental. So there were a lot of cultural crazy things that I never expected that I would experience in an everyday life,
Yeah.
And then obviously the fact of, being away from family and the friends that you knew and grew up with, but then, you create this whole other family and friends, and they've been friends and family for life, and I will be forever grateful for that. It was an amazing experience. Will be forever, ever, ever grateful for driving my brand new car down from Cairns and going to audition for Cats. Who does that?
So fast forward to a couple of years, and I think we get to the stage roundabout where I met you, and you returned from Germany. Is that right? Like what? Do you know?
I was in Germany for 11 years.
11 years. And you would have returned from Germany at what year?
Yeah, so about 2008, I think.
Which would have been about the time I met you.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think I think it was 2009 I met you. Yeah.
And
that was bizarre because I came back to Australia and I had a great life in Europe. Like I did a bunch of musicals and a heap of corporate work and it was incredible. And then I came back to Australia and I remember calling a good friend of mine and going, okay, I'm back, do you have any gigs? And he was like, yeah, I've got a gig for you and it's going to be this amount. And I was like, sorry, how much? Like that price hadn't changed in all those years. And I was like,
still the same.
Oh my God, like still the same.
Yeah, it's still the same.
Nothing had changed. Yeah.
I remember when I first worked with you and I thought, wow, I thought this girl is something very, very special. And that's when we started working together. And I think we're still working together now. It's been a long time, but I remember when I first saw you and I thought, not only are you a absolutely incredible singer, but you move incredible and you have a stage presence that a lot of people just never get to. And I went, this girl's done more than just sing in rock bands. And that's what I loved about you is that your diversity is beyond, like, you can sing in your heavy band, Lillye, yet do a cabaret show at Anita's or at, Claire's up the road here. And that's what I love about what you do. I want to play a video. First of all, we've got a couple of videos, so I want to get through a lot of them. I'm only going to play a bit of this, but this is us at the juniors with the Rock Chicks. So everybody just have a listen to this girl.
Yes, baby. Shouldn't come back no more, but I found myself in trouble, darling, and I had no place else to go. Hey! 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 You know how it is with me, motherfucker. You know, I just can't stand myself, and it takes a whole lot of medicine, darling, for me to pretend that I'm somebody else, motherfucker.
You have such a powerful voice, hun. It's just incredible, and I love your attitude on stage. It's so beautiful. You were such a joy to work with too, and I want to explain to the people some of the events that have happened to you, like this one. And we'll only be short on this. We won't play all of it, but this is a good one.
Hey, Virginia, come on up on stage. Okay, we're going to do our best. We're going to back her up, but not in that way. You can't say those things anymore. There's a song called I Was Made for Loving You by the wonderful, gorgeous, and talented Virginia Lillye.
Let's get into that. How did that happen?
It's so random, you know, like most of these things, totally random. So I was out shopping specifically for I was about to head over to Germany and do a corporate gig for Mercedes-Benz. And Mercedes-Benz said, we want you to go and find a leather jacket and some clothes for the gig, and you know, we'll repay you and all that. And I was like, okay, cool. So here I am in Burwood walking along, and I get this phone call from Daz, and Daz calls me and he goes, babe, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm in Burwood. And he goes, oh my God, are you ready for something? And I'm like, yeah, maybe. And he goes, are you available on this date? And Dario used to book the Manly Boat Shed, and I figured it was the boat shed. And so I said, oh, is it a boat shed gig? And he
No,
goes,
thanks.
nah, babe. He goes, nah, baby, if it takes off, it's going to be bloody unreal. And I'm like, oh, shit. And he goes, are you sitting down? I'm like, no. He goes, sit down. And so, yeah, and he goes, Gene Simmons is looking for somebody to sing I Was Made for Loving You with him at on his Australian tour in Sydney. And I was like, are you serious? Right now? Like, I don't know. Is this, you know, I was looking around for the cameras. Like, what's going on? And he said, nah, I'm fucking serious. So he said, send across your photo and, like, you know, a sound file. So I did. And and then I got the all green light, and it was go ahead, and it was crazy. Like, you know, so I have actually two people hugely to thank for that. Obviously Dario, who's, you know, we all love Daz, for thinking of me, you know, of all the people that he's worked with that he could have called, but he called me. So I was just like, wow, like, you're on my Christmas list for life. And Travis Drangani, he's a drummer, and you know, he was the man who was in charge of looking for somebody, and he called Daz. So those two people, they're just amazing.
They had a local singer. Yeah. They had a local singer at each at each concert. So Christy Thomas did the Gold Coast one, Pete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
all our friends did it.
It was amazing.
All our good friends did it. All our clever friends did it.
Exactly. I mean, Christy Thomas is, you know, she was one of my idols, and she's just, you know, she, as you know, Pete and Tance, and people out there, she's an incredible woman. She's an amazing singer, and she also got me onto the Forces tours. So I've been over to the Middle East about 5 times now to sing for the group. And she was the one that put the number for that too. Yeah. So yeah, she's incredible.
So there you go. The importance of connections, isn't it, Ben?
It's all about connections, absolutely. Let's just move quickly. Sorry, darling. No, go again. What were you going to say?
Just, you know, you've got to have your craft under your belt as well. You know, it's nice to be suggested and connected. That's nice. It's amazing. It's better than nice. But I think also, you know, you've got to go in with the right attitude. You've got to have, you know, you've got to do your learning under your belt. And especially for that Gene Simmons gig, I remember you, Pete, saying, babe, just have everything under your belt, know the song inside out, back to front. So I have you to thank for that, and I also have Bobby Polton to thank for that as well. He's like, babe, I saw your message, and he sent me a private message going, you need to watch the live version of Gene singing this, the octave above, that's for you. And if it wasn't for Bobby and you, I probably wouldn't have known what to do with that song. So
I don't believe that, but thank you. So I don't believe that. I think you knew what to do with it anyway. You instinctively, you know, it's a high song too. Yeah. It's a killer high song. Look, I want to move quickly because I want to get into some other, you know, philosophical things with you. But I mean, we're rushing through your history. I want to have a look at this little event.
I'm here to represent women in rock music. Balls out. What can I say? Balls out. Hi, I'm Virginia Lillye, and I'm from Sydney. I have done everything from being a ghost voice for German pop artists. I have formed an original band. We were nominated for Best Hard Rock and Best Hardcore Metal Act at the Australian Independent Music Awards. I got to sing with Gene Simmons, which was awesome. I've done it all. The one thing I haven't done is turn the chair yet.
Smile like the sun, pieces for air. And tells it never fails. You got solo in the wind. I bet you're gonna ambush me. You have me down, 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 down on my knees. Down in the chair, barracuda. Oh.
Tell us about that. What the hell happened there? Because I remember you went for the first one of the early ones and didn't get anybody turning around. And you know, we all know it's. I'm not going to say anything. Tell me about the voice. What happened there?
Okay, I've got a good contract here. So, oh my God. Look, the opportunity came up again.
Yeah.
And I thought, I think it's just one of those things in life that you just have to tick off your list. So I decided to do it, and I did it.
Was it a good thing to do?
You know what? At the time, I think it was the right time for me, just personally. And
would you do it again?
No.
Okay, well, that kind of explains a lot, and that's all you really need to say about it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure that in every experience that we go through, it's a learning experience, and yes, there are great times, and you have to do it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you realize you realize that
Sorry.
you'd go to do things that may help your career, and they may give a spotlight at some stage, but they don't really change your career for any better, because really what you're doing by yourself is what's creating your career.
100%. And I knew that going into it as well. Like I knew what the show was about. I knew, from my past experience, how it would be coordinated, and I knew all that. But I just thought I've got nothing to lose, and the reason for doing it was to push Lillye a little bit, into the mainstream. Would I do it again? Fuck no. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that I did,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that I did it. Unbeknownst to all of us, that COVID was going to hit in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really proud to be a part of the show within that situation.
Yeah.
And the people that I've met, it's all about the people that you meet. I've made a lot of great friends. My battle partner, Clarissa.
Making new connections.
Yeah, exactly. Not outside of anything that I probably wouldn't have done without the show. However, the show did enable me to build a small profile. It wasn't huge. But again, the connection with, Clarissa and Angela and Chris Sebastian and Mark, and like there's a lot of friends that I've made from it, and a lot of friends that, it has enabled us to create new shows and new possibilities out of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
And
something you would do
also
anyway, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, exactly.
yeah, that's who you are, and that's what you do.
Like I said.
Okay,
like
let
I
me
said, but
move
it was
on.
just kind of. Okay.
Let me
Do
move
that.
on, because I want to get to the final video, and then we're going to have a big talk about all of this stuff. But I want to just tell us give me a 1 minute epilogue of what your original band is.
A 1 minute? Okay. So I actually did have an original band in Germany called Something Fierce. And at the time, the reason why I put Something Fierce together was because I had a single release through Sony, which was a dance track. And it was, quite high up in the German dance charts and all that stuff. And they wanted to do another single, and I went, well, it's not really me. Like, I can dress up and I can be pretty, I can do like the Kylie thing, but it's just not really who I am or where I'm from.
Yeah.
So I put together Something Fierce. And so then when I moved back to Australia, I had to find my feet, and I found my footing. And then I was like, after the first episode of the first season of The Voice that I did, that was always my intention. I always wanted to do something that I felt, showed me my passion, my rawness, some electricity, and I wanted to do a rock band. And through coincidental meetings, I met Christian, who was the bass player in Lillye, and from there we created Lillye. I wanted to form something that was new, fresh, exciting, had edge, had melodic choruses, but still had like a metal influence. I just wanted to do something completely different.
Well, speaking of completely different, let's have a look at from when you were. Let's have a look at from here to here.
Like an hour and a half out of
You know what, Virginia?
Okay.
You're a very naughty girl.
I've been told that, yeah.
That's so wild.
And why? Why do you say that?
Oh, yes. Well, from looking like this to looking like that. You have changed, my girl. Mum and Dad, I don't know what Mum and Dad think of you now. Like, it's like you're completely different.
They hate it.
They hate it.
They really hate it.
Do they really?
I don't. Okay, now I've got the photos. I'm like, I don't see what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, they hate it. My dad keeps saying, "When are you going to sing blues?" And I think you know what? I think I should start listening to my dad.
Well, you got to, like this is a good. We all change. We all go through different things, and this is something you got to get out. And it's and it's like it's not. I believe, like I was speaking to somebody else about this the other day. It's like you start things, and you put a lot of energy into them, but it doesn't mean that you can't go and do other things and come back to that at some other stage. You've got pockets everywhere, and they will always be there. Tell me about Lillye.
100%, and that's again.
Well, tell me.
That's just a.
I mean, like what this is an amazing. You've put a lot of energy into this. Tell me about the energy you've put into it.
Yeah, I have, and like a lot of people, like my father and my mum, and a lot of close people to me. Actually, I think even you, Pete, at one stage said, "What are you doing? Like, you've got to cater to your demographic. But where are you going with this?" But I just felt, I needed to do it, and I still feel I need to be there. I need to finish off what I started. Going from Australia's Wonderland to cabaret shows to I just feel it's something inside me. I grew up in Roseland, so it wasn't easy growing up, and I just think that needs to still come out with me. And I found growing up as well, through high school and whatnot, I went through a lot of shit, and so it's still something that I'm sure still trying to get out of my system. And I just believe, like you say, you just keep growing and growing and growing, especially as an artist. Most of my idols like David Bowie or Prince, or even, Kylie is not an idol of mine at all, but I think her transformation has been an inspiration, and I think you just need to keep growing and keep creating. I think creation is the most important thing for an artist. You can't, I think back to, like, I've got 4 albums and I don't play any of those songs live because I don't think that the audience really like them. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't get where I was at that time. But like you say, you have to do it. You have to get it out. Yeah, exactly. And it's a moment in time. And as artists, we need to release that.
Yeah.
I don't know how normal people. That's really sad to say, isn't it? Normal people. We are normal people too. But I don't know. Maybe they go shopping. Maybe they buy a new car, or those kind of things. But for creative people, that's what we need to do. We need to evolve and just keep creating.
Yeah. And doing things like Lillye are amazing projects because the energy that you have to put into it to make it work is beyond what anybody thinks, and for no income.
Yes.
No income, not even a little bit of income, because I can guarantee that you haven't made any money back from the videos or the albums.
No.
There you go.
Not 1 cent.
And I know that because it's the same with me, and it's the same with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about this, Virginia, is that if I thought what I did, as far as my original projects, was shit, I would have stopped doing them. But I don't. Some of the things are amazing. And it may take me to just keep creating for other people to go back and want to have a look at what was going on back then. And I think the same for you.
Mm-hmm.
Same for you. That like you can, and that's why I say to you, it's like it's always there now. That's the Lillye thing is always there, and you always put energy back into it. But you've done all the hard work. It's now just kind of like it doesn't take that much to put something together for it again. Let me talk to you about you've got a Vanguard show coming up.
Yeah, that's right. So on the 15th, actually next week, Tuesday, next week, this is a very special show. Yeah, Tuesday next week. So exactly a week from today. It's the first time we actually attempted to do a streaming thing while COVID was happening.
Forget it.
Yeah.
It's too hard.
But not like what you tried to do. Like when it first hit, we thought, oh, maybe we'll do, you know, a couple of songs acoustically, and we recorded it just for ourselves, and we went, oh no, it doesn't work. So then we you know, we had this thing, the Screaming Jets song Better, that we were sitting on. We recorded that, and we did a video for some guy in the States who was looking at releasing something, and it didn't go ahead. So everything just fell apart. So we had this thing that we were sitting on, and we were like, well, should we release it before The Voice or after The Voice? And because of the restrictions and the contract things with The Voice, we decided to release it before. So we did that. And then we kind of, you know, COVID was there, and they're like, the shows were limited, as, you know, as far as audience members were allowed. And so then we thought, well, we need to have at least one show before the end of the year. Why don't we, you know, pick up the acoustic thing again? So this is the first time that we've actually pulled everything back. You know, normally we have guitar tracks going and backing vocals going, and like there's a lot of technical things involved. So this is the first time that it's kind of separates the boys from the men, you know. So what are you doing there?
Well, Monkey Boy just came along and spilt my beer.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
You're going to
Damn.
find two people that you know in the audience of that gig.
I believe so, Tanti. That makes me even more nervous now, because please don't judge us.
The whole thing's not about judgment. The whole thing's not about judgment. The whole thing is about acceptance of where you are and what you do. And I love that you are, like as I said to you, you are one of those people that will survive this industry regardless of what it's thrown at you. You'll just keep creating something new. You know, maybe the next thing will be a blues album, whatever it is. But that's what's wonderful about you. You're a worker. You're a worker that, you know, and people, you can see all the comments, people saying, you know, why isn't she famous? Or why isn't, I hear this all the time. Why isn't that person famous? Why isn't this? It's like, if they did, it'd be over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people that have a lot of, see a lot of people that have a lot of success, and they end up in a place where they can't create.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it's important to be true to who you are, and not get distracted by, you know, the carrot or you know things that come along on your journey. There's always going to be something, and you always have to trust your gut feeling.
Yeah.
I think that's the main important thing with all artists and just people in general.
Yeah.
Just always trust your gut, and if it doesn't feel right, then guess what? It probably isn't.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm really looking forward
Lillye
to.
has been a hard.
I'm really looking forward to the Lillye gig, because I've not seen you live. I've seen all the clips, and all the clips are amazing, and all your songs, like the singles, are amazing. But I don't know anything beyond that, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. And having it stripped down to the acoustic thing may be really, really interesting. So I'm really looking forward to it, Vinny. And I have all faith in what you guys do, because you're all amazing musicians, and you're all incredible musicians, and the structures of your songs are tight, man. They're tight and really fucking, really clever, really clever.
As Monkey Tail goes, and that's something that we always wanted to aspire towards, is not to be, you know, commercialized or to be, you know, the unexpected. We always wanted to write songs that took on a curious adventure, you know. So I'm very fortunate to fall into the hands of the boys. You know, we've had a few lineup changes along the way.
Yeah.
But the core structure has been there. Maddie and Christian, like Maddie is an amazing songwriter, as far as chord structures and riffs and stuff like that. And you know, he used to say that, you know, there's always an argument in the studio, like, no, this should be this way, or, you know, that's always going to happen. And that's the great thing about creative things. And it's always the mishaps or the mistakes or something like that that usually ends up leading into that avenue, which is great for us because we always wanted to be so unexpected.
Yeah.
Whether that's a good thing for the listener or not, we're not playing and we're not creating for a listener. We're just creating for ourselves. And if
I don't think
people
you should. I think what
come
you're
on
doing is
board
perfect.
and believe in
I think what you're doing is perfect, and I think that's the way an artist should function, is to do what they love to do and let people discover you around you, you know. So you're doing all the right stuff, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. So anybody else that wants to come and hang out with us, that's on at the Vanguard. Just go to the Vanguard website and buy a ticket. Is it sold out yet?
I put the link in the comments.
Good on you, Tandles.
I don't know. We're waiting for our booking agent because we were very lucky to get signed to a premier booking agency called Destroy All Lines, which is focused on heavy metal music and rock music and stuff. So we signed on to them. So this is our first show with them. So we actually haven't got our ticket. What do you call that? Like,
yeah, the summary
schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see,
worksheet.
See,
well,
I'm just kind of.
Let me assure you, you have at least 2 sales.
Gave it to them. Yeah.
Look, let's.
Yeah, please come. I mean, it's different and it's unusual and it's probably something that we will never do again.
Yeah.
Because we're in recording our second album, and we plan to release that next year.
Yeah.
So this is the last time that this.
Let me reassure everybody that it's not just heavy rock, right? It's original rock. It's pretty heavy, but there's a lot more that goes into it rather than just dirty big guitars, right? So there's a lot of thought gone into this music, and if you know Virginia, like I know Virginia, it's not just off the shoulder. Okay, there's energy gone into it, and doesn't regardless of what you prefer, your music styles, or what you prefer Virginia to sing. This is a part of her, and it would serve you well to be at one of the gigs and check out, especially this one. I think it would be a great one. Let me ask you, honey. Let me ask you.
This is great. Thank you.
What's the future for you? Are you the sort of person that has a plan, that has goals? Or do you just accept things as they come and change as the weather goes?
Interesting question. I always have some kind of vision. And the wind will come and, divert that vision into something. Again, I'm a true believer in trusting myself and trusting my gut. So I believe, again, that, being an artist, we always need to discover new things and explore new adventures. And I believe there will be many more adventures in the future creatively.
Yeah.
And I maybe that's me song.
I mean, everything that you do is an adventure, right?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to Cairns. I wouldn't have gone to Germany. I wouldn't have, the thing that I think you've got to always put down is I always believe I've been very blessed with the opportunities that I've been given. And I think it's very important that you grasp hold of those opportunities and ride them as long as possible, and then grow from that as well, personally and also artistically as well. I think it's incredibly important, the people that you meet along the way. And there's a reason for that. Everything, I believe 100% that everything's for a reason. People go, no, it just,
it's random.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally random. Well, yeah, it's random for a fucking reason. I think, excuse me swearing. I think
that's the quote of the whole stream tonight. It's random for a fucking reason. I'm going to use that.
Oh, well, I mean, I think I probably got it from you.
No, I'm with you 100% on this, is that everything has purpose. And I keep saying this to people that, regardless of what we think, how small are we in the universe? What do we know, So everything has
100%.
purpose. And the planets are gravitationally pushing and pulling perfectly, without me doing anything about it. So everything's working fine. And I think it's all about us creating our part in the universe. And that's what we tend to do. And we're
100%.
creating the best version of ourselves that we can. Sure, it gets away on
Yeah.
us sometimes, and sometimes it's really
Yeah.
difficult and it beats us down, but we just keep getting back up and trying
Yeah.
again. Like,
Yeah.
we're not millionaires, we're not billionaires, we're not going to do that sort of thing.
No.
It's not our journey. Our journey is to create and create and create. What's the future look like
Yeah.
for you?
Bright. I've always believed that there's a bright future. I don't think that anything's going to go downhill. I think, again, it's mindset and it's belief. And, it's probably going to take a lot of different directions.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's got to make me happy.
Yeah.
And I think that's the best lesson I've learned throughout life. If something is disappointing you, or I want to say not exceeding your expectations, but then what are expectations? I think the most important thing is to, again, it comes into the self-belief and it comes into your gut. If you're feeling uneasy about it, quit it. If you're not feeling happy, quit it. Because, once a closed door, there's another open door. And that's our journey of life. And I truly believe that you just have to keep traveling and keep moving and keep the faith. I know that sounds ridiculous because I'm doing a Bon Jovi show coming up and that's the song in my head. But
Well, let's get into let
really
me
do.
get into that. I mean, like what
I know,
what
segue. I didn't even do that. Sorry.
what are some of the theories or the words that live in your head all the time? Some of mine, I'll say them to you all the time, like what you focus on expands. But what are some of those lines? Do you have some of those that work with you?
Yeah, 100%. So one thing is massively that I think from a child was like, you can't do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
I think that is one of the big things. But that's the hugest thing I think in my life is people always said, you can't do that. I'm like, well, why not? Anything's possible.
Yeah.
The only thing, I know it sounds really cliched and it's a Nike thing, but impossible, it only is I'm possible.
Yeah.
I know that's really sad. But
Well, let me interrupt you there. Let me interrupt you there because
Okay.
I remember somebody saying to me, when I was doing some personal training with somebody, she said to me, listen, get out of your head. Nike got it right. Just do it. And I thought,
yeah,
well, how poignant, how brilliant is that? The other thing is that that we as humans, if we say we can or we say we can't, we're correct. Right?
100%. It's all here. It's all mindset. You manifest, you put it out. And I've read everything from Tony Robbins to, Louise
Dr.
Hay,
Zeus.
Exactly. That's where it goes down to. I mean, 100%. It's all those little things along the way. And it is, it's that mindset. It's what you set in here, you put out there.
Yeah.
And, what you feel, we're all energy matter at the end of the day. We're all starburst. And I think that's a huge thing to remember, especially in COVID days.
Yeah.
A lot of people have reset, reflected, and rediscovered who they are or what they're meant to be or where they're meant to go or, all those, things.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that's kept me going the whole time. I mean, in my 11 years in Germany, that was the main thing that kept me going, like,
I can.
okay, so my cat's, I can, and the contract ended. And then it was like, well, hang on a second. I'm not done here.
Yeah.
I want this. I want to do this. And things just, as ridiculous as it sounds, things just came to me, but it wasn't without me not thinking or feeling or,
Yeah.
if you think everything's going to be shit, then guess what? It's going to be shit.
I think it's really, I mean, as like you say, as corny as that may sound, I think it's something that we all have to remember really, really well. We have to remember that what you think, what you focus on expands, and you have to kind of create and create and create and create and be beaten down and create some more. And it's funny, whenever I get beaten down, I always go, what am I going to change because of this?
Yeah. And
What do I have to do? Not blame somebody else or be a victim of the situation. What do I need to do to get beyond this? And I don't mean what do I have to learn, because I don't think learning's what we're here for. I think it's like remembering what this all is about. Is like, what do I do in this situation to become better for me and for everybody else's situation? How do I do this without putting people down, without fucking over their lives? Don't get me wrong, we're human. I'm fucking human, man. But this is the thing, is like, what can you do in a situation like that to go beyond it? Let me ask you, you've been
scared
married.
now.
Yeah, no, you've been married twice. I hope you don't mind me speaking about this, but like, you're with the most beautiful man at the moment. And I love him more than you do. But
Dude, no, me.
no,
me.
Tandy loves him.
People do. Even my parents, I'm like, hey, hang on. Remember
You scored well there.
I was born from you.
Yeah, nah, well, look, you scored well there. And you know what? He scored well with you too. So it's a mutual thing there. Because I always thought that one day you would be mine.
It's true. He used to say that, Vinny. He used to tell me that.
Small window that you...
I missed it.
Sorry, Ted.
It was never going to happen, hon.
I remember when we did the Led Zeppelin show. Is she single?
Oh, really? You
Did I
said
say that? No, I wouldn't have. I would. No, you're more like my mate. You're more like a really good mate, honey, and I love you for what you do and who you are and everything about you.
No, you would never work with us.
No, nah. Of course.
Nah.
You hate coriander.
No, look, that's the crazy thing with Lillye as well. When I was putting Lillye together, a lot of the songs were growing out of the divorce thing, and so it was like, fuck you, and I'm sick of you, I'm sick of you. Yeah, so all that grew, and I was very angry. I was just pissed off at the whole thing.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, and then that's how I met Julian. Like, I was separated from my husband, and then we got asked to go on this tour with the band called The Charge, and I was like, well, who's this band? I don't know, whatever. And then I remember seeing Julian for the first time, and I was like, oh, he's all right. And that was it. It was kind of like, oh, he's all right, whatever. And and then we went on tour together. Like, we had a couple of dates run together, and and then things just evolved from there. So forever grateful, regardless of what happens, Lillye, professional wise. Like, we've had a lot of great things and a lot of great opportunities along the way, nominated for best hard rock and best rock artist and whatever at the Australian Independent Music Awards. The thing was, it was meeting Julian, and to meet that it's kind of weird. Like, even his father says, you're like brother and sister that have been separated at birth. Like, it's just, everything's really easy. We have the same views on everything. And we're actually playing a gig together on Thursday with you. And we play gigs. I mean, he's never played cover gigs before in his life.
Yeah.
So since me, we've done a few cover gigs. He's gone to the Middle East, and we've performed with the troops together. So to give him that experience as well enriches my soul and his, and it's pretty cool.
It's really great to see two creative beings together that are not in competition.
Yes,
because that can happen. That can happen, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's really beautiful because he's a very creative guy. His photography is incredible, and his bass playing is incredible too. And it's going to be great because this Thursday, that's 2 days away, we're down at the Rambling Rascal with you, your original Lillye drummer, Bennett Livingston, and Julian, your husband, on bass.
Yes.
So it's
Come
going to be
and
a
say
real...
hello, he's in the other room.
Is he? It's going to be a really, really great
Of course,
thing.
he's like watching numbers and designing things, and come and say hello.
Come on, Jules.
He's too shy.
Where are you, pal?
He's too shy.
You'll get to see him. You'll get to see him on Thursday if you come down to the. But you got to get there early.
He is.
Hey. Listen, he's bloody handsome too. And if he wasn't yours, I'd grab him.
As many other people forward to. No, I'm very lucky.
You are. But he's very lucky
We
too.
love Julian.
Yeah.
I know, and this is him on a bad
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look, thank you, mate. Good to see you.
We
See you
love
on
you.
Thursday. Hey, look, we want to wrap up here. I know there's a couple of things that people have asked questions about. Tandy, I'm going to hand it over
Yes.
to you.
All
And
right.
please hit us up with some questions.
Okay, we're going to, from Jenny Robinson. Hey, Jenny. We love Jenny.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen. What is the song you most hate to sing? She says.
Oh, wow. Horses.
Horses.
I refuse.
We'll do that on
sang
Thursday.
horses.
I will defriend you, Pete. No, I hate that song. I don't see why it's such a good thing or a big thing, or I actually refuse. Is that diva-ish? Probably.
No.
But I I refuse to sing horses, mainly because why? You know, he didn't write it, and I think I truly believe there's many bigger and better Australian songs to sing. So that's
Well,
one
yeah,
song
it was
I hate.
actually Ricky Lee Jones that wrote that. So who is on your list
Yeah.
of people who you would like to share the stage with?
Oh wow. That's exactly my husband just called out in the background. I was like, you're so right. Dave Grohl.
Dave
I would
Grohl.
love to share Dave Grohl. I'd also like to hang out and bake cookies with him. Beth Hart
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
oh god, maybe Nick Acosta. I mean, I love Nick Acosta, as I
Oh,
know
yes.
you do too.
Mm. Nick
Um,
Acosta.
but that yeah, she's like
Well,
Beth Hart.
Nick Acosta's in Australia at the moment, and she's actually got
I know.
a couple of gigs in January. So,
Yeah.
Nika, Justin, Stanley, maybe Lily,
I know.
here's
Hello.
Virginia.
Hello.
Yes, we love.
But look, I don't think it's gonna happen. And then of course my ultimate hero is Skin from Skunk and Nancy.
Of course.
So
yes.
I would probably put Dave Grohl and Skin on the
Yes.
same level, and then Nick Beth Hart next level. But it's like the tiny little level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
I'll
good.
work on this.
What do you do to prepare for a gig? Someone, yeah. This came in a private message. What do you do to prepare for a gig?
Well, it depends what gig it is
Mhm.
for a start, but I guess just know my shit, get on top of it and know my lyrics, and just have that grounding of believing that I can do it, because the strangest thing throughout this whole conversation and like my whole life is I never thought I could sing as such. I thought it was just always something that I could do, if that makes sense. Like, I never saw myself as a singer, and I still, till this day, don't believe that I'm a singer. I just believe that I can tell a story, and I believe that I can throw across some emotion with notes. As far as a singer is concerned, I think that comes from a dancing background. I've always, to myself, trying to prove that I can do something. So I guess, the main thing is just to be prepared and to drink. I always have a beer before a gig, because I believe that creates a coating on my vodka. Water dries me out. Water dries me out, and Coke makes me burp. So the beer is the best thing. It just creates this foam, and so I guess, does that answer the question?
That's preparing.
I'm terrible.
That's all
So
right.
sad.
Brian Willis, he's asked, how do you feel about singing Queen, and what is your favorite song by them? That's for Brian Willis.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh, Brian. Um, how do I feel about singing about Queen? I'm scared shitless because who can sing Freddie Mercury? And I'm hoping that somehow I can just again, create the storytelling behind it, and with my musical theatre background, I hope that I can do that. And the song that I'm looking forward to the most is, well, it's kind of weird because up until just a couple of days ago, like literally, actually a couple of hours ago, I got my song list sent through, and Barcelona was on the list. And I went, how the hell am I going to do Barcelona by myself? So Brian, you'd be very happy to know that I've got Clarissa from The Voice, who I had the battles with. I think maybe I mentioned that before. I can't remember. So Clarissa and I will be singing Barcelona together. So I'm super excited for that song because not only are we great friends from The Voice, but I think that song will certainly show the connection that we have between one another. So I think Barcelona is going to be a killer. And I also love Hammer to Hall. Hammer to Fall.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
From David Spicer. Hey, Vin, what song would you like to sing to save your life?
Great question.
Great question.
In what situation?
Well, if
Your
you
life.
had to save, if it was a life or death, and they said,
Well, it depends on the situation. If I'm alive and I'm in Middle East and like on one of my troops experience, that could be a completely different song to singing New Year's Eve at Opera House.
All right, you've been caught by cannibals and about to eat you. So what are you going to sing?
Yeah, you got to prove to them they want to keep you around.
So I'd probably, if no one could hear me, I'd probably say Mariah Carey, just because
Yes.
like why not?
All right, Emotions. I love that
That's a
song.
good question.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
question.
for Mel Goodwin. Hi, Mel Goodwin. What has been the highlight of your musical career so far? Been biggest highlight.
I've been blessed so many. I don't know. That sounds really wanky.
No, that's a great answer. I'm going to step in here because there is no one event. Everything has been great, isn't it? It's like, am I answering your question for you?
Thank you.
There you go.
No, it's been a journey. Every moment in each period of my life, there's not one song that would define that.
You know, I've got to tell you, because I turned 60 the other day. I remember waking up in the morning, and like it's for me, a birthday is just another day. It just is another day. But I remember wake up in the morning and I go, do you know what? If this was all there was, and I was to die today, I'd go, that was an amazing journey. Right up to now, it's been an amazing journey. Am I correct?
Yes.
100%. But if you had one song to play at your funeral, what would it be?
At my funeral, it would be an instrumental, of course, and it would be one of mine. And I can tell you which one it would be. It'd be Poindexter and Genie's Sex Act, Act 2.
Okay. Look that up, everyone.
Act 2?
Yeah.
Act 2.
Everyone tune into that.
Or it would be the commencement of the System of Things.
Yeah. That would be my pick. Yeah.
But like it doesn't matter. I mean, like all events in your life are incredible, and to pinpoint it to one, it's really hard, Vinny, isn't it? It's really hard to say this was the one.
It's bloody hard.
Yeah.
But you know what? What makes me laugh is that my mum actually said that the song that she once played at her funeral is "Staying Alive."
That's a bit of a.
And you know what? I think she probably will, because she has so much bloody energy. Like she's a rocket fuel. Like, yeah,
she's incredible.
If
your
people
mum.
wonder where I got her from,
I love your mum. I remember sitting next to her at your birthday a year or two ago, and I remember just having a great conversation with her, and she's just the most beautiful human, and I love her.
Did you get a word in?
Yeah, we had a good conversation. I think that she was, but we had a deep conversation. I just remember going, wow, I love this woman. I love her. She's such a beautiful
Yeah.
person and
Yes.
and she's still
Yeah.
creating and still loves what she does. You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I love your mum.
Well,
And
yeah.
I sat next to her at Claire's. It was great. So anyway, my song,
Yeah.
just for your note, is for my funeral, Peppy. It's going to be "Loving You," Minnie Riperton. I love that song. So,
Mm.
Oh, nice.
and you
Yeah.
know,
Can I just give you a bit of a preview of that? Something like that. Do you want me to sing it?
no, we're loving you, Riperton. Okay, a couple more
Who
questions
would you
for
have sing
Ginny.
it, Sandy?
Yeah, who would you have sing it?
Well, it
Who
would
would you
have
have
been
sing it?
Natasha Stewart, but she's passed,
Oh,
unfortunately. Yeah, you know, we love R.I.P. Tash. We love you, Tash.
Yeah.
But that's, you know, that's who
100%.
I'd pick as singing it. All right, a couple
Yeah.
more questions. Okay,
Okay.
what have you learned as a result of COVID? And what do you hope will improve or change in the music industry going forward?
Good question.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Good question. Who asked that one?
Mm.
Me,
Tandy.
that's mine.
Just then.
Okay. Oh, it's yours. Oh, hard questions at the end. Okay. What was the first part of the question
Well,
again? Sorry.
What have you learned as a result of COVID? Right? It
Okay,
can
stop
blend
it.
in. We can lead into another one. Okay.
Yeah. You know, halftime. What have I learned? I've learned that we all need to slow down, and I think we need to reflect and just reevaluate where we're going with life and what music means to people as well. You know, like it's really weird, isn't it? Like you see all this money thrown into different you know, fields of work or aspects of life and whatnot, but what people always forget is as soon as there's like a fire or a flood or, you know, some dramatic experience within the world, is always the music community that will put on a concert or put on a show for free and or you know, donate
Or a
all the
stream.
money. Yeah, exactly. So I think for me personally, I think it was a good time for me to just stop. And I think, you know, for a lot of full-time musicians working around the place, I think it was a good reminder just to slow down, because we get so caught up in, you know, catching a plane here or there, or, you know, traveling in a van and being at the venue, and, you know, I guess just job obligation. I think on a grand scale of people as well, not just musicians, but on a grand scale, as people have obligations, they need to get here at this time, or they need to be there for that reason. And I truly believe that, you know, COVID has just made everybody just go, okay, whoa, you know, life is what you make it, not what life around makes you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So I truly believe that and you know, it's sad that something like this has come into today's day and age for us to make us realize that. But again, good. So I think it's a toss of a coin thing. I think for a lot of people, we've learned to stop and smell the roses, and also for a lot of people to go, where's my life going? What am I doing? Am I on the right path that I thought I was wanting to be when I was, like, you know, left high school or left uni, or, you know, I got kids and now I can't do that? Or I think it took the can't off the lid, and now I think it's a really ridiculous ad for Commonwealth Bank. Now that I'm continually talking, it's like, you can.
Yes.
Which actually, Commonwealth Bank, thank you very much.
Have you, Vinny, can I ask
think,
you, have you utilized this time? Like, have you just kind of stopped and breathed?
A bit of both.
Yeah.
So I did stop and breathe. Which
Did you
I
have
thought
any
was
fear?
super important. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, major fear, because that's all I knew was go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Which I think you can agree with as well, Pete. It was
Yeah.
just constantly, well, you didn't stop. That's the thing with you. It was like go, 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 go. Okay, stop. Well, what can I do? I'm going to create ISO.
Yeah.
So it was go, go, go for you. But for myself, just personally speaking, yes, it did help me stop and think about things, and to slow down and to create. I started writing a lot more music. I started writing a lot more lyrics, and I also started to create a lot more art pieces as well. A good
Yes,
friend of
your
mine,
art.
Dano.
Yeah.
And I started
Can I
creating
just
these things on drum skins, and I always had like these. Oh, see, I always had these silly art like that. I had these silly art things going on, so I did that for what was that? Well, I don't know, your 50 whatever birthday, Pete.
Popular bear.
98. So that's yeah. I was
98. Oh, okay. So yeah, I
no
did like a lot of
2018. 2018. Sorry.
There you go. 2 years ago. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
it feels a lot longer.
And
Longer ago.
you do all this stuff too.
That's right.
Yeah, I make a bit of jewelry. Yeah.
You're an incredibly
I
creative
did.
woman. I love that about you. You're an amazing woman. I love everything about you, Virginia. You're an idol to me. I love your energy and I love your creativity, and I am excited to see what we come up with together in the future as far as creativity is concerned, because it's not over yet. It's only just beginning.
All right.
Yeah,
I've got one more.
and
That part 2 of the question, Vinny.
yes.
It was,
Sorry.
what do you hope will improve or change in the music industry going forward?
I think the obvious. I think that people being allowed to go out allowed to go out and see music and to experience a live event, whether that be music or film or art or sculpture. I think it's incredibly important. I mean, Australian arts have always been on the bottom level of anything financially, and I truly believe that people will appreciate and respect the arts community a lot more than what they did originally before COVID. And it's we live day by day, and I'm not just speaking by myself or musician wise. I'm speaking of artists in general. We live day by day by just living our heart and soul. We put it on the line, and I want to say we want to be accepted, but at the end of the day, we're just doing our thing, And so when people go out and buy a piece of artwork or see a live show or go and see that film, that's helping us and it's helping them at the same time. I think it's again that stardust thing. It's a come and go transaction. We always want to make people happy, and if it makes them happy, then that makes us happy, and it's this thing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Can I give you my perception?
Making sense in this.
No, because we always do that,
Please.
and that's why I asked you about your little, icons and what, the thing that I learned I've learned for a long time is that giving is exactly the same as receiving. And once you get that
100%.
Once you get that working, you realize that when you're giving something to somebody, you actually feeling good about it, and you feel good about giving. Like when I give you a present, or when you give me a present, I go, wow, man, I love this. And then you go, wow, he loves it. Right? So giving is exactly the same as receiving. I think that when you withhold love from someone or something, you withhold it from yourself.
100%. And that's what makes the world and I'm sounding very 60s like right now, but love makes the world turn around. You know, it's a giving, it's a receiving world. And I think and I hope that COVID has made people realize that that what you give to your family, you get back in return. You know, what you give to yourself, you get back in return. What you give to your pets, you get back in return. You know, it's we're all matter, we're all energy. Yay, monkey. And I think that's the most important thing to always remember. We're stardust, we're matter. You know, we're like this big in like the creation of universe, and
But
we're
integral.
energy. So yeah, exactly. You know, give, receive, keep giving, and keep receiving, and let's just keep that transmission going,
I think
because
it's
that's what keeps everyone alive.
I think we're out of the lockdown situation here. We've done really, really well, and it's been quite amazing. Looking at the news today and looking at what's going on overseas, and it's what a hell shit fight it is. I mean, here we are. We've got on the news tonight people at the airport cuddling each other. They haven't seen each other for such a long time.
I know.
I think the beautiful thing about that is that now we can go out to venues and we can start creating more live music, and that's what it's really all about. Like, we love the connection of live music, and I think that it's, you know, I've always struggled with people that ask the punter to support live music, because I'm a punter as well, and I won't support anything I don't love. Right? But what I do, my perception has changed to the point where if I love something, I will love it more. And by how can I put this? By going to the Lillye gig at the Vanguard on the
15th.
Oh, that drives me. I'm so nervous about that now. You just made me like go. When Tental told me, "Oh, we're both coming to the late show," I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm so nervous because you've never seen anything outside of what we do together. And second of all, I'm so overwhelmed by your support. You know,
Darling,
like you
listen,
talk
let
about
me tell you, and
supporting.
I've said this to you before. You could get on stage and you could fart, and I'd still love you. And it'd be amazing. It'd be the most amazing fart.
Smell mightn't be so good.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's like anything that you do is incredible. Listen, Tandy, are there any more questions?
Just one more, and this is from Jenny Robinson again.
I love you, Jenny.
What advice, hey Jen, what advice would you give to young girls who want to be a rock singer like you?
A rock singer like me. The best advice I would give is to keep training, and